Welcome to Salcedo Paranormal. It is Monday, March 6th, 2023, and today I am covering paranormal news. As always, you can find all episodes of the show, along with links to social media and other ways to contact me at the podcast page. And that is salcedoparanormal.podbean.com. That's SALSIDO paranormal.podbean.com. Always happy to hear from you all. Whether you have comments or questions or topic suggestions or stories of paranormal experiences, whether they're your own or from others that you trust, happy to either read those or have you join me on the show to talk about them. And I think I've already gone over the plans for the week's shows, so I think we can skip that. Thank you all for listening, whether you're here for the live shows or you listen to the podcast or YouTube feeds, as always. I've already put all the links to the articles in the chat, and whatever ones we don't get to today will be saved for the next news show. So, and I think that's it. So let me get to the articles here. Have a bit of a mix this time of articles, which is nice. So let's see here. Now, also, I'll point out with a few of these articles, you may find that I repeat. I share articles on the same locations or same concepts in these news shows, but part of the reason why I do that is I think it's important to point out when these topics come up again, first of all, in any kind of public news or entertainment sort of entertainment news or any other kind of news website. And also, you never know when they will bring up something, whether it's new information or new ideas related to the article, the subject of the article, that maybe we haven't heard of before. So, just in case some of you maybe have listened to a lot of shows and you've heard me talk about, you hear repeats, the same locations or topics discussed. That's why. So, I think it's always nothing ever really, I don't think, stays the same in terms of history and thoughts about it and evidence of it and all these things. So, and folklore, mythology, and all those things. I think everything is always changing. At least something is anyway. So, just thought I'd point that out today at the start of this episode because I believe I've covered at least a couple of these first article topics before. So, just wanted to let everyone know why I do that. So this first article is from grunge.com, and the title is "The Best Theories We Have About the Lost Continent of Atlantis." And again, part of the reason why I bring this up is also because of the stories I've heard about these people in this place apparently having possibly abilities and or technology that is not the same as what we have now. So, that's always a topic that is really fascinates me. So, this article goes over some of these theories here, kind of just lists off some and then goes over each one in a paragraph or two. And so it starts off with this first theory here. It says it was a reference to the island of Santorini. And it says that Robert Ballard, who's an explorer, apparently he's the one that found the Titanic. Apparently he told National Geographic that while no one actually believes Atlantis was a real place, as it was described by Plato, the story of an entire civilization an island being wiped out in a cosmic heartbeat has been absolutely and repeatedly true. So that's an interesting point. Mentions here in the article that one of these possibilities was inspired by this real life island. Um, Basically, it was the destruction of the Minoans, and it says that similar to the story of the Atlanteans, they were a highly advanced society with far-flung military conquests and trade routes. It says until suddenly they weren't. And the article mentions it's not entirely clear what happened. But one of the main ideas is the eruption of a volcano basically forced them out of the area, caused a lot of damage to infrastructure and trade routes. So, let me see here. Mentions that it would have been ancient. This event would have been ancient at the time that Plato was writing, which of course is ancient in and of itself. So, which would have been about 1600 to 1300 years before he was born. And Ballard mentioned that we can't know what Plato had in mind, but it still mentions that this is a possibility here. Mentions that this island of Santorini is still inhabited, and it's basically well known for being a paradise on earth kind of a location. It says in the article. Beautiful island, and but the volcano apparently they're still active. So that's the first theory that they mention here. So it looks like what they're talking about here, they're giving examples of places that may have been, I guess, and may have inspired the story itself, which is a neat idea. I haven't looked into this a ton myself, so some of this may be more maybe old news to some of the listeners here. But this next place that is mentioned is, I'm probably going to say this wrong, but it sounds like Spartel Island. And it says that there is this island in the Straits of Gibraltar, somewhere between what is now Spain and Morocco, that vanished after a major natural disaster. Says that stranger things happen in the natural world. And in 2001, researchers from the University of the Mediterranean, via New Scientist, found an island right where Plato said it would be. So it mentions that this scientist, which I'll just use the last name, Kalina Gerard, not sure if I'm saying that right, apparently was studying the rise and fall of ocean levels to see what kind of impact it would have on the ability of people in ancient times to go between continents. And then he found a piece of land that used to be an island. And this is what's called Spartel. And apparently, according to this article here, I don't know enough details about it for sure, but it says it's exactly where Pluto described Atlantis as sitting. Says that based on information from the coral life there, it indicated sea levels completely submerged the island about 9,000 years before Plato, which is apparently precisely when he described Atlantis sinking. So, let's see here. Mentions that the sizes of the islands, basically the real life island of Spartel and then Atlantis, they don't match, but apparently it's argued that it's just a translation error, so due to language. Um, and then apparently in 2005, in I believe it's a journal called Nature, researchers from the European Institute for Marine Studies found that it wasn't just rising sea levels that sank the island, but an earthquake and tsunami hit at about the same time. So, yeah, there's a couple of theories there regarding um, Atlantis, and there's more in this article here, and definitely recommend you all check it out. There's a lot more, so for anyone really into that topic, there you go. It's a good sized article there to check out more of. So, just thought that's always a neat topic to look into, at least a little bit here and there. So, but yeah, let me check on the chat here. So yeah, hello everyone there. I see you all in chat. And now this next article, I believe, it's covering something that friend of the show, Derek, shared in another server the other day, which is this basically report on social media. And this is from this article, although it's been covered in other articles, is from WIOnews.com. And it says Mexican president posts photo of what he claims is an elf from Mayan civilization. So, and I can sort of see what he's talking about in a way, and also what the article is talking about in the image there. They have it in the article, and you can check out the images there and read the article for yourself. But let me get back into this here. And this article is actually from a week ago, but this says that the president of Mexico at the time, I'm having to try to say his name, Obrador, not sure, Obrador, shared a picture of what he calls and I'm not sure how you say this, so I'll just spell it ALUXE, that became a social media moment in basically in the North American continent over here. So mentions that he shared a picture on social media of what he said was this mystical woodland spirit, similar to an elf. And it says that it's basically, let me see here. Looking at the article here, apparently, now of course there's an explanation for this in the article. Mentions that it's basically just the tree and the branches of the tree, and then there are two stars that are said to be its eyes. But apparently, the picture appears to have been captured. It says during nighttime. It says it shows a tree with a branch forming what looks like a halo of hair, and then of course it mentions that there are what appear to be stars forming the figure's eyes. I wonder about that because it does seem like a sort of a reasonable but also easy, quick explanation for what it could have been. And so it goes into more about the president himself and how he has reverence for the indigenous cultures and beliefs. And again, it's mentioned that this was captured in the Yucatan Peninsula, where engineers and workers are constructing a tourist train that is the president's pet project, according to this article here. Now, that's an interesting point because you hear stories about civilization expanding and then sort of encountering these different creatures in the in nature. But yeah, and I believe that was you, Derek, that shared an article about this the other day. Um, and I just found one again, like I said, similar article on the same topic. Derek says this one is a wild one to me. President talking about elves. Yeah, the level of okay, maybe someone else then. Either way, I definitely recommend you all check out the Troubled Minds Discord server because a lot of amazing stuff gets posted there. So I'm sorry if I'm misattributing that article to someone, but might have been Mike actually. I lose track because this was a good few days ago now. But either way, check out that server because a lot of people there post a lot of great things, interesting things there. So apparently, yeah. So and I think I saw this in the article too. Mentions that everything is mystical according to the president, according to social media. So, and it makes me wonder if, again, we hear about all these different beings having the abilities to just blend in with their environment. So who knows? Maybe it did just look like to most people a couple of stars and then this tree. So who knows? But really amazing. I always, in a way, I love hearing about things like this, especially when it's someone at such a high profile in the world. Celebrities, I'm interested in, even though I always wonder about that because sometimes after they claim to have these experiences, they start shows about that, and that can be makes me wonder somewhat about their reasons for making these shows. And again, that's not automatically assuming that they're faking. It's just that you have to keep that possibility in there that maybe they're trying to take advantage of current trends in the paranormal. Well, basically in entertainment through the paranormal. A couple days ago, I saw actually on Twitter that the term paranormal was actually trending for a little while. So, and I think I've seen that a couple times this week. So, not quite, and again, paranormal, not UFO or UAP, but the word paranormal. So, thought that was pretty neat. Again, so yeah, just that article, I wanted to share that, and makes me wonder. This is one person sharing this. It makes me wonder how many, and you hear about it on different paranormal shows. You get people that write in or call in that will say, you know, I can't give you my name or tell you where I'm at or where this happened because I'm in this position or I'm in a high position in this company or in a position in that government or military agency. But then they'll go on to explain this weird encounter they had. So I do think that as I've been saying lately, just because of the articles I've been finding, I think that there's really all kinds of paranormal things going on everywhere out there, and that's not a bad thing. Paranormal does not equal evil. So, and it's just a matter of when people are around to notice it and when they do notice it. So, and I think we have time for one more article. Again, this is another place that I've heard of for years, and I'm always curious about in terms of the paranormal. And I think I've figured out why I've been so interested in this location, and basically my question about it. And so this article here is from, let's see here, it's from Salon.com, and the title says, "This ghost town is too dangerous for humans because an endless fire burns beneath it." And so this is, of course, referring to the town mentions once idyllic, once basically um, active town of Centralia in Pennsylvania, and and how it's at some point a fire started and it went underground and it's still burning to this day, basically. So and goes over the history of the location, how there was debate over whether or not it was safe to live there, and different people became ill due to the gases and chemicals that were, well, basically the smoke and everything that was coming up from and going into the air from this whole area that's basically on fire underground, and and how there was the government eventually wanted everyone to move out of there, and eventually I think most people did. I don't know if there's I don't see anything in this article about whether or not there's anyone left there now. I know there was only a handful of people as of a few years ago, last time I looked at this. But what I'm wondering about this kind of a place, if you think about fire, that's energy. And whenever I've seen video or images of this place, especially the areas that where there's no one there anymore, I've always gotten this eerie feeling from it. And I wonder, I mean, obviously you can't because it's not safe, but I really wonder what kind of paranormal activity you might pick up there, if anything. I mean, again, it's they say right in the article, it's not, you can't stay there, really. I mean, the fire is underground, so there could be. Doesn't say this in the article, but originally what started happening was there are parts of the ground that started just collapsing. At one point, it even there was a kid that almost went down, that started to go down with one of these pieces of collapsing ground that went into the underground coal seam or coal veins of coal down there that are burning. So I mean, he made it out, but yeah. So I just wonder about that location and similar locations around the world, where through whatever means there's either fire, or I also wonder about places that have been subjected to high levels of radiation. If those could be sort of, if they could draw in the paranormal, basically energy beings that need more and more energy to keep being here, keep existing, or to get to basically maintain their form. Just a question that came to mind, and again, I have no answers, so who knows? But definitely a sad story there, but also just a good warning as to what can happen when things start little and then they end up getting really big like this. These huge fires on the ground. So, I think that's where we're going to end today. I'll get to the other two stories next time. And I'll be back tomorrow with true paranormal stories from the web on the next episode of Salcedo Paranormal. Take care, everyone.